Hi, everybody. I have a beautiful story for us to read today. It is titled Pup and Bear. So, the bear is a polar bear, and this little pup is not a puppy dog, it's a baby wolf. A baby wolf is called a pup. And I see some beautiful snow that the illustrator drew. Her name is Naoko Stoop. She drew the pup and the bear, and the author who wrote the words, her name is Kate Banks. So I do have a winter story, but I also want to remind you that December and Christmas time in the winter, sometimes we can think about how kind we are to others. And this story is definitely about kindness. So let's see how Pup and Bear show us how to be kind to each other. Pup and Bear. I see some more clues about the story. The illustrator drew some evergreen trees. Perhaps this story takes place in the forest. It looks really dark, so maybe it's also nighttime. Let's see what happens. Oh, I see an owl, friends. Whoosh! When the great gray owl swooped down, screeching, whoo, whoo, the Arctic wolves knew that the big freeze was on its way. So the owl is giving the wolves clues that it is about to get colder, friends. And I can see a big snowy mountain in the background. And I notice that the wolves have white fur to keep them warm as well. They took shelter in a snowdrift, and they listened to the fierce wind holler and roar. They watched the snow blow in spirals, wrapping the world in a fluffy white coat. Wow, the illustrator is really showing us that it's windy and it's really snowing heavily. So they are under a big pile of snow, almost like a cave, to keep themselves warm. And I notice they're cuddling together to keep themselves warm in this wonderful snow storm. But then the wind's bitter cold breath turned warm, and the sun appeared. The big melt came, and one lone pup found itself on a sheet of ice, spinning out to sea. Oh no, friends. So it is getting warmer. I see the illustrator drew some sun in this beautiful illustration, so it's melting the snow away. And I noticed the family of wolves are over here, and there's one little baby pup. And this other poor little wolf pup got stuck on a piece of ice. Let's see what happens. I bet he's very scared and very lonely to see his family is leaving. The pup slid into the water. He swam and swam. When he reached land, he burrowed into a snowbank. He was tired and he wanted his mother. That poor wolf pup. I would be nervous if I saw that poor baby swimming in the cold, icy water, and he's sad because he wants his mommy. Poor wolf pup. Let's see if his mommy comes. There's been no picture of a polar bear yet, though, and I know on the front cover, I saw the polar bear and the wolf pup cuddling, so let's see what happens. The pup closed his eyes and fell asleep, listening to the throb of silence across the still landscape. It's so quiet. There's no other animals, and I can tell it's nighttime. The illustrator drew these beautiful blue illustrations, and it's still snowing. He woke to the feel of a cold nose against his fur. The smell was familiar. It was a polar bear. "You are not my mother," said the pup, flattening his ears against his head. Oh, he's scared, friends. "I am not your mother," said the polar bear, "but I can cuddle you and keep you safe." That's so kind. The pup was shy and frightened. "Aren't you going to eat me?" he asked. "Polar bears eat wolves." "Not this one," said the polar bear, shaking her head. "Climb onto my back and I will take you to my den." Aw, so the polar bear is showing kindness. She's going to keep this wolf pup safe. The pup stretched out a paw forward cautiously. That means he's still nervous. Then he climbed onto the polar bear's back, and they crossed the tundra under the watchful eyes of a trio of baby puffins learning to fly. A puffin kind of looks like a penguin, but it's not a penguin. A puffin is a bird, and these are baby puffin birds. And now we know that puffin birds live where it's cold. So they're watching this polar bear and the wolf, and I wonder, they're probably thinking, why is that wolf on a polar bear? Back at the den, the polar bear licked and cleaned the pup. I am not your mother, she said, but I can feed you and keep you warm. That's so kind. She's cuddling that baby wolf to keep him warm and safe, and she's cleaning him up. The next day, they set off across the wintry tundra. Maybe they're going to go look for food. When they spotted a walrus with long, sharp tusks, the polar bear bellowed and chuffed. Oh man, look at these walruses' strong tusks. They are kind of like teeth, almost like an elephant has tusks too, and the walrus can use those to fight or defend itself. So I noticed the wolf pup. He's standing behind the polar bear to keep safe, and that polar bear the author wrote that she bellowed and chuffed. Those are noises that the polar bear is making. So she's kind of roaring or grunting at him, saying like, stay back, stay back. I want to keep this wolf pup safe. Where are we going? Asked the pup as they neared the water. I am not your mother, said the polar bear, but I can show you where to catch fish. They passed a snow goose perched on a nest of eggs. I never knew a snow goose lived where it's cold. They sniffed the trail of a seal as he tried to outsmart them. And they stopped at the water's edge where the fish and the lemmings came and went in the wondrous wheel of life. That looks like a little baby seal. And look, remember the mama goose? She was perched on a nest of eggs, so she's keeping her eggs that have babies in them nice and warm. The sun shone down on the crisp, crackling snow, and the polar bear rolled in a snowbank. Come on, she said to the pup. I am not your mother, but I can play with you. But when the pup tugged too hard at the polar bear's fur, the bear growled. I am not your mother, she said, but I can scold you. Then she nuzzled the pup and tickled his tummy. So take a look at this illustration, friends. They're having a little bit of fun here going down the snowbank, and I'm noticing that the wolf pup, he started playing a little too rough. So the polar bear, look at her face. She changed her face to a stern face. Don't do that. The wolf pup tugged at her fur, and that probably hurt the mama. So she scolded him and reminded him, we don't hurt each other. But then she was okay. She forgave him, and she tickled that wolf pup's cute little tummy. Tired at last, the pup curled up against the bear, and they napped, listening to the wind whimper and sigh. Oh, so it's windy. That's so cute. The mama polar bear is keeping this pup so warm and safe. That's so kind of her. And this beautiful illustration, it looks like the sun is going down, so they're going to take a nap. The earth turned round and round, and the big freeze came, followed by the big melt, until at last the polar bear nudged the wolf, who was not a pup any longer. I am not your mother, she said, but I know it's time for you to go. She nuzzled the wolf one last time, and the wolf nuzzled her back. Oh, that's so cute. So friends, the author wrote the words that the earth turned round and round. And I know when we have birthdays, when we do our birthday celebration, our birthday friend walks around the earth. So time is passing, okay? So maybe about a year passed. And if you look, the illustrator is showing us first the wolf pup was kind of brown and small. Then his fur starts to change colors. It's no longer dark brown, it's like a light brown, and he seems to be like a medium size. And now look at the wolf pup. He has the same color fur as the polar bear, so he is growing and he's no longer a pup. He's growing up to be an adult wolf, so he has to leave that polar bear. Then he walked out into the wide world. There he is. That's the big wolf now. He's no longer a pup. What a beautiful illustration. He's going to walk up into the mountains, and I see some berries are growing. The wolf howled at the midnight sun, "Ow!" which glowed on the horizon, where the day ended and the night began. And he was answered by the cry of another wolf. "Ow!" Look, he found another wolf, friends. There he is in the distance. Let's see if they get together. He doesn't have a family. Maybe they'll be family together. Soon he was leading his own pack across the frozen tundra. Yes, friends, this wolf in the front was our wolf pup, but now he's an adult and he found his own family. Oh, that makes me so happy. He's leading his own pack. Then, one day, the wolf came upon a polar bear cub huddled in a snowdrift. "Where is your mother?" asked the wolf. But the cub did not know. The wolf sniffed the cub and rubbed its fur with a wet nose. "You are not my mother," said the polar bear cub, cowering. "I am not your mother," said the wolf, "but I can cuddle you and keep you warm." Oh, so just like when this wolf was a baby, he was lost and alone. Now we have a baby polar bear and we do not know where his mama went. So now the wolf is going to keep the baby polar bear warm, just like when he was a baby. "Aren't you going to eat me?" asked the cub. "Wolves eat polar bears." "Not this wolf," said the wolf, shaking its head. "Climb onto my back, and I will take you to my wolf den." The polar bear climbed onto the wolf's back. "I am not your mother," said the wolf, "but you can stay with me until you're big enough to be on your own." That's so kind. So now the wolf is keeping the polar bear safe until it grows big. And the wolf led the pack back across the tundra, along the path that went round and round in the wondrous wheel of life. So this wolf is going to let the polar bear stay with them until he grows up. And if you look, there's our baby puffin birds. And here's a family of rabbits. And there's the owl that we saw in the beginning of the story. And there, my friends, is our polar bear. And she had some babies too. And that is the end of our story. What a beautiful story, friends. So remember, it's always important to help each other and be kind. I'll talk to you later. I hope you enjoyed the story. Bye-bye.